The Rams may be entertaining trade offers from Jalen Ramsey. How likely is it that he winds up in Detroit? Hello, everyone. My name is Derek, and welcome to Detroit Lions Syndicate. If this is your first time here, we talk all things about the Detroit Lions, and we make videos almost every day, so consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. A lot of talk coming out of LA Rams camp is that the LA Rams may be parting with their number one cornerback, Jalen Ramsey. And Jalen Ramsey came from the Jacksonville Jaguars as part of a trade. Back then, the Rams gave up 2 first-round picks for Jalen Ramsey. Then they turned around and did the same thing and even a little bit more for quarterback Matthew Stafford. And it all paid off, and they got their Super Bowl in 2021. And a year after winning the Super Bowl, the Rams have the worst record of any Super Bowl winner, getting 5 wins in total for the season following the Super Bowl. And after Sean McVay threatening to retire for the second year in a row, Aaron Donald changing his profile information on his social media, could the Rams be kind of in tune for a retool, if you will? It is quite possible. And one of the names that keep coming up is Jalen Ramsey. Not only just in getting traded, but traded to Detroit. I'm not sure why that connection is being made. Maybe it is because of Brad Holmes, the former scouting director of the LA Rams. It is possible that that is the connection. I think anytime we hear of a LA Ram getting traded, we're always going to come back to the Detroit Lions. But how likely is it that Jalen Ramsey winds up not only traded in the first place, but traded to the Detroit Lions? I think there is a low probability that that actually happened, but it wouldn't surprise me if Brad Holmes was to pull off something like this. We saw what he did in the 2022 draft, trading up 20 spots to get Jameson Williams. And he also took on Jared Goff's contract when it came to trading as part of the Matthew Stafford trade. So even though it's a low probability, I wouldn't be surprised if this happened. But my question to the viewer is, how would you feel if the Detroit Lions traded for Jalen Ramsey? Now, before you go and say, well, we don't want to give up the draft capital. Well, according to the Washington Post, it's not a matter of if Jalen Ramsey gets traded. It's a matter of when. They seem to think that not only he'll be traded, but the LA Rams will take considerably less compensation for Jalen Ramsey. This is coming from SB Nation. According to the Washington Post, it's a matter of when, not if, Ramsey is traded. And general managers around the NFL don't believe the Rams will get anywhere near the compensation that their fans might expect. When the Los Angeles Rams acquired Ramsey via trade from the Jacksonville Jaguars during the 2019 season, it sent 2 first-round picks the other way, but seems unlikely to get a similar return if a trade does occur. I remember that trade when Jalen Ramsey, who was disgruntled in Jacksonville, pretty much forced his way out, was traded to the LA Rams, and it paid off a little later. They wind up giving up 2 first-round picks, and that's why the Rams haven't had a first-round pick in 4 years. They also almost gave up 2 more first-round picks for defensive end Brian Burns, but Carolina declined. That would have been 6 years since the Rams got a first-round pick. I'm telling you what, I've never seen a team do anything like what they're doing, but they did get that championship, so I guess it was well worth it. Now, when it comes to Jalen Ramsey, I have my personal beliefs on why he wouldn't be traded to Detroit, is because, in my opinion, he doesn't fit the culture. He doesn't fit the mold of the type of guy that Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell are looking for. However, I would not rule out a change of scenery for Jalen and potentially it being Detroit. One thing that I've seen from Brad Holmes is that he will make a move that you don't expect. So I'm not going to count this out completely, but when you start to dive into the salary, it might be a reason as to why that wouldn't happen. According to Spot Track, in 2023, Jalen Ramsey will be 29 years old. His base salary will be $17 million with a signing bonus of $5 million. His cap hit will be $25.2 million, and his dead cap will be $32 million. Now, is it possible that Brad Holmes could finagle something, maybe restructure Jalen Ramsey, work out some type of deal with the LA Rams? When Jared Goff got here, before the season began in 2021, they restructured his contract so they could clear up some cap space. So could that be done with Jalen Ramsey? It could. I'm not going to rule it out that it wouldn't happen, but I think it's highly unlikely. In Jalen Ramsey's career, he's played 108 games, has 452 tackles. He has 2 sacks, 7 forced fumbles, and 19 interceptions. Jalen Ramsey is currently 28 years old. He will be 29 in about week 6 or 7 of the 2023 NFL season. And he played very stellar even at 28 years old. He is still one of the premier cornerbacks in the league, but I'm not sure he fits in what the Detroit Lions are trying to do. Will he bring winning here? Absolutely. It's funny because he didn't really taste it in Jacksonville, had the fair share of it in LA, got the championship, and I could see him having a change of scenery. But will that change be the Detroit Lions? While I believe it could happen, I think it is highly unlikely that we will see Jalen Ramsey in a Lions uniform. But the question that I have to you, the viewer, is this. How would you feel if Brad Holmes could somehow get that contract reworked and sign Jalen Ramsey to like a 2 or 3 year deal with the Detroit Lions? Would he no doubt help us? If Brad Holmes pulled this off, I wouldn't be mad. We could go in the draft. You've got Devin Witherspoon and Christian Gonzalez. You have Ringo. You also have Joey Porter Jr. as well. So you have your fair share of cornerbacks that you can get. But Jalen does bring something that we could have right now. He could come in and be a starter right away. But I don't believe that the Detroit Lions are necessarily going to do that. But I wouldn't be shocked if they did. So let me know what you think in the comments below. My name is Derek. This is Detroit Lions Syndicate. We did a good thing yesterday, and we're going to keep this thing going. Danny Rogers, sideline reporter for the Detroit Lions. I actually told her on Twitter that I would try to push her channel. She was sitting at 298 subscribers yesterday. We have 410 today. So we're going to keep this doing. She probably doesn't need the 1,000, but she could use the boost, and I am here to help. So if you guys want to subscribe, you can check out the pinned comment below for Danny Rogers' YouTube channel. We have 50 days until free agency kicks off, and maybe Jalen Ramsey will be part of that. You never know. We just have to wait and see. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself. And as always, go Lions.